G'day, it's been a while. I haven't been slack, I've just been too lazy to film some of the wines I've made. I'm going to make something a little different this time. That's a pumpkin. My wife planted a pumpkin vine at the back and we've got about 4 million pumpkins. Well, maybe not 4 million, but we've got probably 30 or 40. And since we've got so many pumpkins, I'm going to say, try pumpkin wine. Now, I've never tried this before, I've got no idea how it'll turn out. I don't know whether it'll be nice or yuck or whatever. I'm not real keen on pumpkins anyway, but we'll give it a try, you never know. So, if you're going to follow along, if you want to do it at home or whatever, you need about 5 kilos of pumpkins. You need about 4 kilos of sugar. You need yeast, obviously. You won't need any Camden tablets this time. You'll need some peptic enzyme, some tannin, and that's about it, I think. Oh, and some raisins. You'll need about, say, half kilo of raisins. And because pumpkin is hard and not soft and squishy, I think it's going to be hard to get the flavour out of a pumpkin if we do a normal brew method. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to use heat. So basically I'm going to boil the pumpkins until they come soft and the juice comes out of them. So that will kill all any bad yeast in there, so that's why we don't need the Camden tablets to kill wild yeast. Okay, I changed my mind a bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the skin on. The skin of the pumpkin is quite edible, so I don't think there'll be any problem leaving it on. What I've done is topped and tailed them. Get a spoon and get rid of the seeds. You'll need to get rid of the seeds. So I just get a spoon and get rid of the seeds. And then I just slab her up into good slabs. The reason I'm going to leave the skin on is because we're using heat to extract the flavour out of them. The heat's going to soften the skin anyway, and there'll probably be some flavour in the skin. It'll be going into a strainer bag, so it's no problem, it'll come out anyway. Okay, this is pretty much finished. It's nice and soft. You see it sort of breaks up as I squash it. So what you want to do now is just break it up even further, give it a good squish and a good mash, and then it's still a bit hot, this, but I'll do it while it's hot, and then stick it through into your stocking, pour it into a stocking as you put it into your fermenter. So you have to be careful, you probably get someone to help you do this. Okay, change my mind somewhat. I'm going to make a mead. And what a mead is basically using honey instead of sugar to produce the alcohol content. So, just got a pot of some water there. And I'm going to add to that about 3 kilos of honey. Now I'm just going to warm it up a bit so that the honey dissolves properly. I don't want to boil it, I just want to warm it up because I want the honey to be dissolved into the water. So when I tip it into the must, it's all mixed up together. So I'm just warming it slightly. I'll make sure the honey's all dissolved, then I'll stick it in the must. I'll also add a teaspoon of peptic enzyme. Okay, the peptic enzyme will help it to clear. I'll add a teaspoon of citric acid, and then I'll just let it all settle for a little bit, and then I'll add my yeast. So that now is just all dissolving, so it's just warm. And once all that's dissolved, I'll then test the specific gravity as well to make sure it's got enough sugar in it to make a nice wine. So there you go. I'm doing this because I had a roasted pumpkin and honey salad, and it was beautiful, so I figured that the honey might be nicer in a pumpkin wine than sugar. Anyway, I'll come back later. Okay, I'm just going to test before I add any sugar to test the must to see how much sweetness is in it, because that'll tell me how much alcohol it's going to make. And you can't really see that, but the levels up to here on my hydrometer, and it should be here. So I've actually added way too much sugar, I've made too much honey to that. So in actual fact, you probably only add about 2 kilos of honey rather than 3. So this will make a sweet wine because the yeast will make alcohol and it'll make it, it'll get drunk and die before it uses all the sugar, so it'll be a sweet wine. So I'll just add the yeast and start letting it ferment.